The Holy Book, Sefer Kav Hayashar, Episode 15. Peace is such a valuable commodity that the sages comment in Medrash Bamidbar Rabbah 11.7 that no vessel is more capable of holding blessing than peace. They note that for this reason the priestly blessings end with the words, "And he will grant you peace," by Midbar 6.26. Similarly, we are told that the Holy One, blessed is He, Himself makes peace on high, Eov 25.2. That is, among the angels. And if peace is needed among the angels, who have no evil inclination and who are free of jealousy and hatred, how much more is it needed between man and his neighbor, between the minority and majority, whom the Satan is perpetually goading into discord and quarreling? The cause of all this baseless hatred, which the sages have said outweighs the sins of idolatry, sexual immorality, and bloodshed, Yoma 9b. Baseless hatred is aroused by the voice and by the words that come from a person's mouth, in particular from a mouth that is accustomed to curse people. Then, even a minor disagreement with a colleague will immediately fill him with wrath and indignation and cause his curses to burn like coals. What he does not realize is that he is in fact endangering his own soul and the souls of his family members and bringing great evil upon himself. For it is stated explicitly in the Zohar, Parshas Kedoshim 85a, that every curse that leaves a person's mouth goes and floats about the world until it links up with an evil spirit. Heaven spare us. Then it descends into the great chasm where the destructive spirits dwell, always prepared to bring suffering upon someone. They stand there watching for an opportune moment when the astrological fortune of the habitual imprecator takes a turn for the worse. Then they immediately call down upon him evil decrees. Heaven spare us causing injury to his property and his person, or to the members of his household. We have already mentioned in the 3rd chapter that if a person is accustomed to uttering curses, it is a sign that his soul does not derive from a holy source, but from the primordial snake, which is the source of the Sitra Achara. Such a person has cause, therefore, to be concerned lest he be beset by many afflictions. On the other hand, if a person guards his mouth, not allowing to utter curses but accustoming himself to uttering blessings, instead he can be certain that his soul emanates from the very holy source and that he is worthy of the world to come. Similarly, if a person's mouth is accustomed to bearing evil tidings, heaven forbid, and he enjoys speaking derogatorily of others, it is a very deplorable trait. Moreover, his prayers go unheard, being unable to pass through the holy partition. But if he is accustomed to bearing good tidings and relating good news, he is referred to as a holy mouth. This is especially true of one who has the merit of delivering good news to a Torah scholar. For this, he is immediately granted goodly portion in Gan Eden. The proof to this is the case of Serach bas Asher, who informed Yaakov that Yosef was still alive, on account of which she merited entering Gan Eden while she was still alive. Derech Eretz, Zuta, Chapter 1. The most effective way to avoid developing the habit of cursing others is to recall that there are times when a curse reverts back upon the one who utters it. May heaven spare us. And when a person causes himself to be cursed through cursing his fellow undeservedly, so that what he decreed upon his fellow was decreed upon him instead. There is no remedy for it, for it is as if he issued the decree upon himself. The main cause of this is the habit of quarreling and fighting, as a result of which even minor disagreements turn into major altercations. Thus the sages have said, "A quarrel is like a river flooding its banks. Once a breach opens up, it will open further." Sanhedrin 7a. Therefore, a person should distance himself from quarrels and strife, which will save him from cursing as well, and let him honor his fellows, especially those who are greater than him. In particular, let him honor his Torah mentor. An epistle sent by the holy community of Eretz Yisrael to the holy community of Babylon and the diaspora illustrates well how a person should conduct himself. Listen, we would like to inform your holy community of a praiseworthy custom among our holy community in Eretz Yisrael. Namely, you will not find in our community any fighting and quarreling. And even if there should arise on occasion a disagreement that might lead to a quarrel, there are among us saintly individuals who immediately arouse themselves regarding every matter of holiness and intervene to prevent the quarrel from spreading. Even if it is a minor issue, they immediately make peace between the two sides, who then return to a spirit of brotherhood and friendship so that peace and tranquility are restored to our camp as before. Afterwards, the parties embrace one another, and each man forgives his fellow. If one party is younger than the other, the younger party asks forgiveness, and his fellow immediately embraces and kisses and forgives him. And if someone detracts from the honor of his Torah mentor, heaven forbid, he accepts upon himself a ban of excommunication, casting himself forcefully to the ground and removing his shoes and sitting upon the earth. Then when his rabbis behold his remorse and his weeping, he does not allow him to remain seating on earth for longer than the time it takes to roast an egg. After which he gives him permission to get up from the ground, saying, "Rise." And when the disciple has risen, he falls at his master's feet and asks for release from the ban and for forgiveness. His master then pronounces 3 times, "You are released," and adds, "There is no longer any interdiction or ban of excommunication. Your iniquity has passed and your sin is atoned for." Let me describe for you the great humility that reigns among us. The illustrious Rabbi Nachum, son of the illustrious Rabbi Avraham Gelante, Zecher Livracha, related to me this incident. It happened one time that his father was carrying a sack of flour on his shoulder from the market when he was approached from behind by our great teacher, the illustrious Rabbi Shlomo Sagig, Zecher Livracha. The latter grabbed the sack from the shoulder of Rabbi Avraham Gelante and swore by his life that no one would carry the sack to the house of Rabbi Avram other than himself, explaining that he, Rabbi Shlomo, was younger and stronger than Rabbi Avraham. Rabbi Avraham pleaded with him not to do this, for Rabbi Shlomo was greater than he was in Torah and wealth. But Rabbi Shlomo would not listen. Instead, he bore the sack himself all the way to the home of the elderly Rabbi Avraham. On another occasion, our teacher, the pious Rabbi Avraham Gelante, was on his way back from the village of Ein Zesim, where they had purchased a jug and filled it with water from a particularly famous well nearby. Along the way, he encountered the pious Rabbi Masud, who said to him, "Rebbe, give me some water, for I am thirsty." But when Rabbi Avraham lowered his shoulder to pour him a drink, Rabbi Masud immediately took the jug from his shoulder and swore that he would carry it to Rabbi Avraham's house. He also made an oath that he would not give in to pleading. So too, when any of the other members of the community would see Rabbi Avraham, from a distance of 30 cubits, they would stand up for him. Then when he approached them, they would kiss his hand, saying, "If only we could be a spread beneath your feet in the world to come." For he was tremendously pious and humble, admonishing us continually to be sure that peace, friendship, and brotherly love reigns among us. May his merit stand by us and by all Israel.